All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out my show. So, what I'm going to talk about today is something I realized throughout my life, and that is a lot of things that I love the most are either free or very inexpensive. And I was somebody when I was younger, like I think a lot of people, that I thought I had to have all these possessions to make myself happy. And believe me, possessions do make you happy. At least they did for me. But now that I'm heading into my 60s, I look at things much differently on how I value a lot of things. And a lot of things that I truly love a lot, if not the most, are free for starters. My relationships with who I'm with, my friendships, my family, and a lot of people will be like, yeah, no shit, we get it. But I'm also here to tell you there's so many things in life you can do for free as well. And, I just think we underestimate it. And a lot of times we can also be creative. And I try to help men live incredible lives affordably. And I'm going to be doing a new podcast with the Coupon Queen, a friend of mine. And I did her podcast and we decided to do one together. And she's about helping people save money as well. So if you listen to my podcast, I really try to help men and women save money in many different ways, which could include buying clothes, resale, consignment, how to travel affordably, and how to just take different steps to save themselves money and maybe take that money and invest it elsewhere if they chose to, or just save it. Because I do think a lot of people waste money. But this really hit me yesterday. I was with a friend of mine, Jason, and we meet up once in a while. He helps me with some of my stuff. And, we met up for first, we just were going to go and hang out at the library. But him and my buddy and me, we ended up first going for a quick slice of pizza, which very inexpensive usually, and I love it very much. I don't know if you do, but having a nice slice of pizza, either with a beer or a Coke, for the most part, is pretty cheap, and it's great. And it's great to sit around with your friends and have good discussions. And then from there, he wanted me to take him to the library, which I did. And I forgot how big the Orlando Library is, downtown Orlando, and how it has everything. It has video games, it has books, it has music. And that stuff's free. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot I used to take my daughters here. And we used to love coming here because for the most part, for the last 15, 20 years, I've been going to Barnes & Nobles. And I've been buying my books or just reading them there. Which is interesting because you could go to Barnes & Nobles or a library again, and they're free. You can read and get as much knowledge as you choose, truthfully, for nothing. It's like its own university, especially if you find a great, a great bookstore or a great library. After leaving that, we went for coffee and talk about some things. And he actually treated for me. But coffee, for the most part, a lot of people complain how expensive it is, $4 or $5 or whatever. But it kind of shocks me because me growing up in the bar and nightclub business or just hanging out a lot of guys used to just go to places and drink and spend way more money than I do on one cup of coffee and a water. But that's very inexpensive. And I sat there for a couple hours. We went through many different things regarding my YouTube channel and different guests. Now I'm reformatting my podcast, connecting with other people, and just connecting again. Him introducing me to some people and me introducing him to some people was free. We just connected online or whatever social media platform we have, which again was free. Then after that, he wanted me to show him the neighborhood, which he wanted to check out Little Vietnamese, or Little Vietnam, they call it, which is a community downtown Orlando on Colonial Drive, also on Mills, Orlando Avenue, and 1792. And we walked up and down, and I had my dog with me too, having fun, laughing, talking about different stories and all these things. And it's amazing that, I had an incredible day with a friend like that to do it. Plus, he's never been around that much. So then we jumped in the car. I was showing him other parts of Park Avenue and Winter Park, and no money involved, with the exception of maybe gas, like I said, and just having great conversation. And I think people undervalue our relationships, friendships, again, with others. And it's not just that, just so I'm clear. A lot of things in your life you don't realize are just probably very inexpensive, and you're having an amazing time doing it. You just don't realize it. Even I don't care if it's in your relationship, if you're husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. I get a lot of times you may be, you got to pay rent or you got a mortgage and things like that. Obviously, that is not free. I understand that, and that's not cheap. But I do think sometimes we put ourselves under a lot of stress in relationships that we have to buy a lot of things for somebody else or spend a lot of money when going to do other things. It could be eating out and things in that nature. I get it, but I'm going to tell you something I did too. This week, I ended up going down to West Palm Beach with my girlfriend for a couple nights. And we went to Worth Avenue, which is it's basically like the Beverly Hills of that area. And they have beautiful shopping. But first we went for Mexican food. We found a place a little off the grid that was recommended that was extremely affordable. It was unbelievable. I had steak. I don't remember what she had. She had something else, like a bunch of different things. And it was just unbelievably reasonably cheap for being in that area and delicious food. We had a great conversation, and then we hit Worth Avenue. So we're walking up and down the street, just laughing, having a ball, and I'm looking at a lot of clothes because it was like we were window shopping. It was closed. It was nighttime. And I looked at a lot of clothes that are very high-end, some in the middle, but mainly a lot of high-end, retail stores. And I'm looking at all the different styles, and most of them I've already worn before or have these type of clothes. And my clothes are all paid for. So I look at my clothes as I don't buy a ton more because I don't want to go broke. But when I wear my clothes, it's free. But when I was enjoying the night with her, but we did go for gelato, which was like $10-12. Again, very inexpensive, but it was a great night. We walked around and we saw all the beautiful Christmas lights, trees, all the different clothing, like I said, all the different artwork, along with all these beautiful cars on Worth Avenue. It was relatively an incredibly cheap, incredible night. Now, of course, I could have went the other way like I've done in the past. I could have went to a very expensive restaurant on Worth Avenue, just saying. I could have went on a shopping spree, right? I may have put it on a credit card. I may have paid cash, whatever. And if you have the money, God bless, do whatever you want to do. And the only reason I bring up these things is because, like I was saying earlier, you can have an amazing life affordably. You do not always have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on certain things to have a great time. Now, don't get me wrong. You want to go out and buy certain things that make you happy, that are more money. God bless you. I don't care if it, again, is a boat, cars, jewelry. But I'm going to tell you something, too, real quick. I'm going to kind of wrap it up with this because back to free and stuff, I think a lot of people get wrapped up with a car payment. And I discussed this a lot where, and I've had a lot of car payments, especially if it was me and my ex-wife or whatever, paying $3,000 a month. I know it's crazy and then throwing insurance, because I used to have some very expensive cars. And we've leased cars. And I'll tell you, it's one of the biggest waste of money unless it's an investment. But I ended up now, I brought a 2004 Mercedes convertible and it only has 80-something thousand miles. And I paid it off a while ago, long time ago. I'm not saying my car was free. I got it for like $12,500 with like 30,000 miles. And like I said, my payment was nothing. And I paid it off. And now, with the exception of gas and insurance, I just don't have a car payment. And not having a car payment is a big deal to a certain degree. Now when I jump in my car, like I sort out gas, it's free. I put the top down. It's very, very enjoyable and affordable. So I just wanted to kind of bring this up because, there's so many things in life, again, I could start going through that are very free and inexpensive and very enjoyable. Even I'm going to really officially wrap it up with this, with health and wellness. You could get creative even if you can't afford to go to a gym. I love to swim, and if I don't swim in a gym or I couldn't afford to, I could swim in the ocean. I could swim in a lake. I could go to a friend's house because I live in Florida that has a pool, or I could go to a hotel for free and park for free and swim in a pool. I could go to other townhomes or apartment complexes. Same with gyms. A lot of times you may not be able to afford a gym. Or you could just go to Planet Fitness for $10 maybe. But even if you can't do that, you can find other areas to work out. Again, it could be a friend's house, and I discuss this a lot. Or maybe you just want to do, if you have a phone like a lot of people, you could do yoga or a television. You could work out at home. You can maybe even do different exercises. You can jog. You can maybe do a lot of things to stay healthy, even at a point in time where you don't have a lot of money to go to a fitness center. Get creative. I'm telling you, and you could save a lot of money, and a lot of stuff out there, I'm telling you, that you love to do is free. All right? And I know the famous saying, even fooling around with, men, women, whatever the hell, that's free. What is that song by, I forgot that group. But they talk about that, like sex is free or whatever the hell it is. It sounds wacky. You just make sure you protect yourself. But I'm telling you, a lot of things you love to do, kissing, holding hands, love, affection, just being in the company of a lot of different people that you love being around. Really, for the most part, unless you're spending money at a dinner or something, but even just meeting up and just becoming a little clever and smart. You don't have to spend all this type of money. All right? Got any questions or comments, please feel free to hit me up. I'm Rich at richchalenza.com. The new podcast coming out with the Queen Pin, I don't know the name of it yet, LaShonda. We haven't officially named it. That'll be starting after the new year, so I presume we're going to be talking about how to save a lot of money, hopefully with people, and how to spend money too. So, all right, take care, everyone.